It's getting much busier on this concourse after Hearts wins. This is Hearts Standard. This is Hearts Standard. That's a wee Hearts fan there. I'm Craig Cairns, that's Joel Sked. We've just watched Hearts win 4-0 and go 9 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. What were your thoughts on that, Joel?
Just a very professional performance. I think the team had to show patience, and Derek McInnes mentioned it when he spoke to the press that they had to suss Dundee out. Dundee, and he mentioned it in his Hearts TV interview before the game where he said that Dundee were probably happy with a 0-0 and go back up the road, probably would have been, and they kind of set up that way with a really low, not a really low block, but a clear formation, 5 at the back, 2 in midfield and 3 forwards.
And 0 shots on target.
0 shots on target. The first goal was always going to be so vital, and ideally he wanted to come earlier, but when it did come, it just took a lot of pressure off the game, and it just freed everyone up. And from there it was just really comfortable, assured, professional, confident, all of those things. It wasn't scintillating, but it was just what we needed after this winning game.
There's never any doubt, really, as you say, especially after that first goal. But I mean, did you have any worries at all with how the game was going early on? I mean, Hearts didn't exactly click from the off. It took a wee bit of while to get going. They didn't create too many chances in the early stages. But were there any worries at all?
Nah, not really. Just because I just wasn't impressed with Dundee. I just didn't think they were going to put up any kind of any fight. I mean, they did hit the woodwork, but he just never felt that they were going to put Hearts under a lot of pressure. And Hearts have got too many good players, and you've seen it with the subs bench, that if things weren't going well, it could easily change and be made better. But I just think it did take a wee bit of patience. Maybe a bit of maybe it was a bit leggy. Maybe it was to do with the changes. Maybe it was, but I think it was more to do with just Dundee. And I thought they were quite well organised to begin with. And it needed Hearts to sharpen up. And I think there was a bit of frustration early on with just some of the moves that were breaking down, some of the decisions were being made. But once they kind of found that bit of confidence, found that bit of what's the word I was looking for? A bit of confidence, just a bit of rhythm. That's it. Exactly. I was going to say fluidity, and yeah, like I said, once they scored a goal, we may as well. We
used to time it for this coming out every time. Now, I've not had this for a wee while.
Once Hearts scored a goal, it was almost like I can write my intro that Hearts have gone 9 points clear at the top, because as soon as Hearts scores, there's no chance that Dundee are coming back at this.
Yeah, unless something kind of went wildly wrong, I guess. One of the things that I found interesting from Derek McInnes' interview, and I think this speaks to something wider about him and one of the bonuses of having him as Hearts manager, he spoke about knowing that they had to get the crowd up today.
Yeah.
And that's not the first time he's said one of these little things, one of these little quirks about Scottish football that he's aware of. Wanted to shoot down the slope in the second half at Tannadice, these things, and it's like he's got this on top of all the other sort of man management, the tactical side. He's just got those little bits of knowledge from being an experienced campaigner in Scottish football.
I think he'll realise that it's not going to be like the Celtic game. He always thinks that takes care of itself. Fans are going to be up for that no matter what. It's different to this St Mirren game midweek, where it was a wee bit of, you've got the away fans behind a wee bit more. They're all away fans tend to get behind the team quicker, and then there's the chaotic nature of the game itself. Whereas I hope with Dundee, hope with Falkirk, those are the type of games where the crowd either get up for it straight away because Hearts have started really quickly, or if there's a wee bit of frustration, then it does take the team to get going and bring the crowd into it, rather than vice versa. And that's just the way it is. That's just natural.
You mentioned the changes, maybe potentially one of the reasons why it took a wee bit of a while to get going. But all said and done, 3 changes, 1 in each part of the team, defence, midfield, attack. And in the end, score 4 goals and they don't concede one. So in the end, even though I don't know why I'm dwelling on it so much, but even despite those 3 changes, they come in and it's seamless. They've kept up the level of performances that they've had until now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that Derek McInnes has said over and over again, that he's always talked about the team behind the team, that he could name another 11, and he is confident they would put on a really good performance. And he talked about it in training where it's 11 against 11. You don't really notice much difference. I think there's a part of him that would have liked to have made more changes in starting 11, but that was always going to be the fear that it could disrupt things.
Another St Mirren in the cup, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking, I did think that 3 changes would be the maximum, and he's did that. They're all relatively sensible changes. I know some people might have wanted Kajota in instead of Spittle because they know what Spittle's about, but then kind of talked about why he brought Spittle in and coming off the left to open up for Harry Milne. But they all had an impact. Steinwender kept a clean sheet. He was pretty faultless. That being said, Dundee didn't offer too much in threat. Spittle's involved in 2 of the 4 goals. Involved in the build-up for the first, and it was his shot that was excellently saved by John McCracken that Kabori knocked in, and then Landry Kabore scored twice.
Yeah, let's get to Kabore. There was somewhere I was going to go, but I can't remember now. So let's go to Kabore. I suppose I think he deserves a bit of praise for not letting his mentality drop at all. I think he has come in and he's had a bit of a tough time. I've just realised that in the analysis I didn't even mention the fact that he had to wait weeks for a work permit after signing. So he's had all these sort of like false starts. He got his first start at St Mirren, tried again at Motherwell, came off at half-time in both games. It'd be easy for a player to sort of be down in the dumps there. By all reports, he's kept his levels up in training. Oh, that's what I was going to say. You're talking about the 11v11 in training. I think the bounce game results are a good example of the team behind the team as well. And he's one of the people that stood out in the bounce games as well.
Bounce game champions. Yeah, that's it. If there was we could win the double this season, the bounce game, the bounce game league and the Premiership title. Yeah, but yeah, he is. And McInnes was effusive in his praise afterwards, just about how happy he was for him and that he's had to bide his time. That he's probably had. Maybe McInnes chucked him in quite early, and then he's realised he just maybe needs time to settle, time to adapt. He's stuck with it. I think he seems like a decent enough character where he's always lively. He's never down in the dumps, and he's rewarded from it. The international break was really important for him, scoring a hat-trick against Burkina Faso.
Kept him going.
I think that would have done so much for his confidence. He comes back in, he gets a round of applause from his teammates, and he feels really part of it. And he's had a wee bit a taste coming off the bench, but yeah, it was what that will do today is massive for him, but also massive for the team. You've got Shankland get to 10 goals, Braga scoring goals, Kyziridis chipping in, whether goals or assists, and then Kabori scoring.
And Magnuson, I think Magnuson said himself, and not double checked this, but he said, don't think I'm really giving anything away from the embargoed quotes here, but double digit scorers for Hearts now.
Yeah, he mentioned that. Yeah, I need to double check.
Is he including the own goals?
Yeah, potentially. But Magnuson's another one. He came to when he signed. You looked at his record, and he was chipping in with goals for his Icelandic sides.
Yeah, and he's another one who's come on. And I suppose he maybe falls into a similar bracket as Kabori in that he's on the fringes, like he's one of the next in line. But if you look at the minutes he's been getting, I mean, I think he's got a fair amount today, but it's like 1, 2, 9. I mean, he could quite easily be getting frustrated as well at the lack of game time, but you wouldn't be, even if he is, you wouldn't be able to tell it from the performances he's putting on when he comes in.
No, absolutely not. And I think just in general, it just says a hell of a lot about the squad depth that you've got guys coming in and eager to make an impact. I think eager just to be part of it, because I think they feel part of it training, and then being amongst the squad, it's a really, even though it's a big squad, they're all together. It's all the reports, everyone you speak to, it's all positive, but it makes a massive difference from being involved in training to then being involved in games to actually producing moments in games and getting a good amount of minutes. A few of them, Steinwender, Spittle, Kajota, Kabori, Magnuson, have kind of all ticked that box, and kind of said it was like the squad's getting stronger and stronger. And I think you can see that when people are talking about, will this last? And I always make the point that I still think this Heart squad as it is, has still got so much improvement in it. Whether it's Ageu coming back in when he's fully fit, Chesnikov in January, and just the guys in the building getting more and more used to Scottish football and building those partnerships and getting better working together.
Probably personally apologise to Lawrence Shankland at this point, because he always seems to be an afterthought, but he's having an absolutely brilliant season.
He is, and I looked at it today because I wrote a wee bit about him during the St Mirren analysis, because he had scored against St Mirren. That was his 9th goal of the season, the same number of goals he scored in the entire last season, and this time last season I think he had 1 goal. But then I went back to check his season when he scored 31, and
take a while to get going then as well.
No, he started off like a house on fire.
Right, so you think it's another one of these?
He started off a house on fire and then it kind of stopped. So after how many games have we played now? 15. So he's got 10 goals in 15 games this season. I think he's took him to 19 games to get these 10 goals in his 31 season. So he is. It's kind of just said that it's gone. He's kind of gone under the radar because there's been so many other players that have come to the fore, and the focus is just not all on him constantly.
As usual, Joe, any other business? Anybody else you want to chuck in a wee bit of praise for?
Not praise, I'll just talk about Ageu, just because it's a bit of a blow, and thankfully.
Positive news from the bad news, it seems.
Yeah. I got a message on Friday night. It was like, rumours of Ageu having a hamstring. I was like, oh no. So then trying to figure out, and then you come in today, and McInnes talked about it and said it's not a major issue. It should only be minor, but it's a blow for him, because you kind of talked about Kabori and his patience and his work permit issues. This is Ageu, who's came in, record signing, wants to get going, looks great against Livy, gets injured. Thankfully it's a different hamstring, but it's a frustration again. And I think he was pretty gutted yesterday from what McInnes said, but he did tell McInnes today there's like he's like 100% I'll be fit for Dundee United, which is really positive, and it's really positive that he is so eager to get involved and play games. So yeah, it's like you said, a bit of good news from the bad news, but I don't think there's anything else other than that.
Yeah, others have been, just to add to that, others have been drip fed in, others are still being drip fed in, but you feel Ageu's one that he wants to kind of push in a bit quicker. Yeah. So hopefully we get a good sight of him against Dundee United. If that's everything, I think we'll get out of here. Joe, please check everything out at heartstandard.co.uk.
Have you mentioned that Hearts are 9 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership?
Let's do it now.
9 points.
Well, let's just to put some context on it. Hearts came into this with that opportunity, and they've emphatically taken advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
because people would have taken a 1-0 today. People would have taken. People might not have been happy with the performance and all that kind of stuff. But the way the season's been going, if it comes to a game where you struggle for a bit and you just get over the line, you'll take it in the context of the season.
Because I mentioned it to Mark Donaldson when we did the video on Friday night, that I was speaking to like Josh from Rangers Review. Speaking to him on Thursday night, and he was like, "This is the first time since the Championship season I was checking the Hearts score during the weeks." Like so, and he's not the only one. Rangers and Celtic fans will be checking Hearts score, and then I think there will be a lot of interest in Hearts today and seeing how they not bounced back but reacted to dropping points at St Mirren, and not only to get the win, but to win 4-0 and do it so comfortably is a bit of a statement in itself, and it kind of just sends a message like, this team are perhaps here to stay, and they've got a lot of mettle, and they've got a lot of strong mentality. Going 9 points clear. First round of fixtures complete, 9 wins, 2 draws, the same as 2005, 2006. However, 28 goals in 11 games, and that's just something that goes back to Shankland, Braga, Kyziridis, Kabori, McInnes, and talking about the 10 different goal scorers. So loads and loads of positives.
The Gorgate juggernaut. The Gorgate juggernaut continues. Please check everything out at heartstandard.co.uk. I've linked a few things in the description. We'll be back next week at some point, and we will see you all then.